All right, so when we were talking about prisms and cylinders, okay, which have two bases on them that are parallel to each other, the volume formula was what? V equals
One half the
big B, little h. What's the only difference today?
one third the
1/3 capital B, lowercase h. Here's what I mean by that. So if you have a triangular prism, okay, and it has obviously parallel bases, if you have a pyramid that has the exact, well, I don't have another one of those. Okay, so let's change over to a rectangular prism. If you have a rectangular prism, and then you have a pyramid, and both the prism and the pyramid have the exact same base, size and shape, and the exact same height, what this formula is saying is that if this pyramid was filled with water, and I poured it into this prism, how many pyramids would fit inside of it? Exactly 3. So the space inside of this pyramid is 1/3 of the prism that has the same height and base. So shrinking this together so that it comes to a point at the top cuts the volume into 1/3 of the other one. Okay? So looking at that, there's really not going to be a whole lot of difference on the work that we show. Okay, so we've got volume equals 1/3 capital B lowercase h. Capital B stands for
base
the area of the base.
I got it half.
So the area of this base, how do we find that? 12 times 12 because it's just base times height. And what's the height of the pyramid?
8.
So what is this? What's the volume? 384? Okay, look at this one. I forgot to put a 24 here, so add a 24. Volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. How do you find the area of this base? Same, right? They're both squares. So you take 24 times 24. What's the height? We don't know. Okay, so let's draw the height right here. We need to find that. How long is this dotted line? It'd be half of 24, right? So we got 12 there. So what would we use to find that question mark? How would we set it up? What's going to be c squared? So then we've got 12 squared plus x squared, 144, 169, subtract, we get 5. Now this triangle is not drawn very well, obviously, because that does not look like 5, but we're going to pretend it is. Okay, so 5 is the height of the pyramid. What's the volume then? We forgot units on this one over here, and this one. Questions? So pyramids and cones only have one base, and they come together at one point at the top. Okay, they have a different formula if they come together to that one point. Anyone still need this? Okay, find the volume. We have the height on this one, right? All right, good. We've got volume equals 1/3 capital B lowercase h. How do you find the area of the base on this one? 1/2 AP. I'm going to move this parenthesis down a little bit here. All right, so which one is really easy to find right now? P. What is it? 24. It's a hexagon and each side is 4. So the perimeter is 24. We need to find the apothem though. We'll get to that in a second. What's the height? The height of the pyramid is 10. All right. Let's draw in our right triangle so we can find the apothem. How long is this right here? 2. We're looking for the apothem. How big is the angle on a hexagon? 30. And how do you find that if you don't remember? 360 divided by how many triangles there would be, just like that black one that I drew? Which would be 12, which gives us that angle measure of 30. Is this sine, cosine, or tangent? Tan. Tan 30 equals what order is the fraction? Opposite over adjacent. We multiply by x tan 30 equals 2. Divide by tan 30. What do we get? All right, so that goes here, 3.46. That's the apothem. Perimeter was 24. Okay, there's a couple of fractions, some decimals. It would be good if a few more people could throw this in the calculator and just double check that we're getting the same number. What's the volume of this pyramid? Is it 200 something? What do we get?
Give me.
138.4?
That's what I got.
Okay. We'll go with that. I'm not a human calculator. We need units on there, feet cubed. Now if it is oblique, which means that you took the point on top of that pyramid and moved it over to the side, the volume doesn't change at all. Just make sure you use the right height. So we're going to look at a few examples of that on the next page with the cones. Are we good with this one? All right, so looking here, find the volume. 1/3 area of the base times the height. How do you find the area of this base? What's the formula? So it would be pi 5 squared. What's the height? We got to find it. We actually had a triangle that had this same set of numbers. We have 5 squared plus x squared equals 13 squared. All right, so we found the height to be 12. Now we can find the volume. What do we get? Perfect. This one right here. We've got volume equals 1/3 big B little h. Same formula for the base, right? We still got a circle, pi r squared. Pi what squared? 10 is the radius. Height? 22. What does the calculator say? Got one left. We're going to write pi 3 squared because that's the radius. What's the height? Ten would be the correct height that we want to use. We want to use the perpendicular height, not the slant one. What's our answer? Beautiful. Questions?